The wedding planner called me 17 times in 4 hours. I watched every call light up my phone, watched her name, Patricia Rothman, Rothman Premier Events, flash across the screen again and again while I sat in my greenhouse, repotting orchids, listening to Mozart. The exact piece I would have had playing during cocktail hour. The cocktail hour that 300 guests weren't experiencing right now. By the 6th call, she stopped leaving voicemails. By the 12th, she started texting. By the 17th, the texts had devolved from professional panic to something closer to a hostage negotiation. Marcus, please, I'm begging you. There has to be something we can do. People are crying in the parking lot. The bride is having a breakdown in the limo. Elderly guests are sitting on the curb. That last one almost got me. Almost. Then I remembered what my brother said the last time we spoke. The exact words, the exact tone. You're nothing without the land Dad left you. We both know you didn't earn any of this. Now stop being selfish and do this one thing for your family. Marcus, you are uninvited. From my wedding, from my life, from everything. So I finished repotting my orchid, turned off my phone, and let the most expensive wedding in county history collapse before it even began.
My name is Marcus Thorne, 41 years old, owner of Belgrove Estate, the most exclusive wedding venue in 3 counties. 47 acres of manicured gardens, a restored Victorian mansion, a glass conservatory, stone chapel. Forbes called it the crown jewel of New England event venues. My booking rate is $85,000 for a Saturday in peak season. I'm reserved 2 years out. I didn't inherit this. What I inherited was 47 acres of empty land and a $340,000 bank loan my father took out before he drank himself to death. I was 22 when Mom died. Car accident. Head-on collision with a drunk driver on Route 9. She was the only one who believed in me. The only one who held our family together while Dad spiraled into bottles and bitterness. I was in my junior year of college. Carter was 17, still in high school. I came home for the funeral and never left. Someone had to take care of Carter. Someone had to deal with Dad, who could barely function between the drinking and the grief. I dropped out 3 weeks later. Got a job at a warehouse. Night shifts, $12 an hour. Picked up a second job bartending on weekends. Then a third job doing landscaping on weekday mornings. I was working 70 hours a week, sleeping 4 hours a night, watching my college friends graduate on Facebook, while I figured out how to keep my brother fed and my father alive.
Dad died 18 months later, liver failure. I was 23. That's when I found out about the loan. $340,000 borrowed against the land, the only thing he owned, 6 months before Mom died. I was informed he'd planned to develop it, build something, make it profitable, but no living member of the family saw the money. Even after Mom's death, when we were finding the family upkeep very difficult, he never contributed anything except his bottles and troubles. It dawned on me he'd drunk away every cent trying to numb the pain of being a failure. The bank sent a foreclosure notice 6 weeks after his funeral. I had 30 days to start making payments or lose everything. The land was all that was left of my family, the only thing Mom had loved. She used to walk those acres with me when I was a kid, talking about how beautiful it was, how peaceful. I couldn't let it go. So I made a deal with the bank. Structured payments, brutal interest. If I missed a single month, they'd take it all. I was already working 3 jobs. I picked up a 4th doing construction on weekends. Carter was starting college. I'd promised Mom on one of my visits to her graveside that I'd take care of him. So I did. I paid his tuition, his housing, his meal plan, his textbooks, everything. I worked 90-hour weeks for 4 years to keep Carter in school and keep the bank from taking our land. Nobody helped. Extended family watched from a distance with commentary but no assistance. Marcus is wasting his life. That land is worthless. He should just let it go, start over. They never offered $1. It took me 7 years to pay off that loan. 7 years of brutal, grinding work. 7 years of no life, no friends, no future beyond the next payment. When I made the final payment, I was 30 years old and owned 47 acres free and clear. I sat on that empty land and cried for the first time since Mom's funeral.
I started building Belgrove the next week. I couldn't afford contractors, so I did it myself. Spent 6 months learning carpentry, plumbing, electrical work from YouTube videos and library books. Started with a small event pavilion, built it by hand with lumber I bought on credit. Then I built a stone pathway, then a garden arbor, then a small chapel using reclaimed materials from demolition sites. I worked construction during the day to pay for materials, built Belgrove at night and on weekends. It took 3 years to create something bookable. My first event was a couple I'd met at the bar where I worked. They couldn't afford the big venues. I charged them barely enough to cover costs. 90 guests. The bride cried when she saw the gardens. The photos from that wedding ended up on a wedding blog, then another blog, then a magazine. Within 6 months, I had 12 bookings. Within a year, I was fully booked. Within 3 years, I had a waiting list and was turning away clients. I paid off every credit card, every construction loan, every cent I owed. I hired staff, landscapers, coordinators, security. I built the mansion, the conservatory, the wine cellar. Belgrove became what I always knew it could be. What Mom would have loved.
Carter didn't help with any of it. When he came home from college on breaks, he'd walk the property with his friends, laughing at my DIY disaster, called my hand-built structures backyard projects, and said no serious couple would ever book a venue with no contractor's name attached. "This looks like something from a home improvement show gone wrong," he told me once while I was installing the chapel windows. "You're wasting your time. Nobody's going to pay real money for amateur construction." I asked him to help me carry lumber one weekend. He was home, had nothing planned. "I didn't spend 4 years in college to do manual labor. That's your thing, not mine." He graduated debt-free with a marketing degree and a job offer in Boston. I was happy for him. Genuinely happy. But something had shifted in Carter. He'd watched Belgrove transform from empty land to a featured venue in magazines. And he'd convinced himself he deserved a piece of it. Carter got engaged 14 months ago to Madison Fairchild. The Fairchild family owned Fairchild Pharmaceuticals, worth over $600 million. The call came from Madison's mother, Catherine. Marcus, Madison and Carter would be honored to hold their wedding at Belgrove. I should have said no immediately, but this was Carter, my brother, the one I'd sacrificed everything for. I had one cancellation for next August, peak season, Saturday. I called Carter directly. "Hey, Madison's mom reached out. I have August 7th available. My rate is $85,000 for a Saturday in peak season. I can't discount that even for family. I have operating costs, staff salaries." "Wait, you're gonna charge me?" "Carter, this is my business. You're my brother." "I know, but the operating costs are real. I can't—" "Marcus, Dad left you that land. You didn't build this. You just developed what you were given. The least you can do is let your own brother get married there without turning it into some cash grab." I felt something crack inside me. Dad left me empty land and $340,000 in debt. I worked 4 jobs to save it. I paid for your entire college education while living on nothing. Don't tell me I didn't build this. You inherited 47 acres in one of the wealthiest counties in New England. Do you know how many people would kill for that head start? You act like you're some self-made success story, but we both know you just got lucky with Dad's real estate. I couldn't breathe. "Carter, I sacrificed everything for you. I dropped out of college when Mom died. I worked myself into the ground to keep you in school. Nobody asked you to do that. You made those choices." Silence. "Look, Madison and her parents are very much eager and are expecting Belgrove. I already told them it's settled as far as the owner is my brother. So either you do this for your family, or I'm going to have to explain to the Fairchilds why my own brother is sabotaging my wedding. I'm offering you the venue. I'm just asking you to pay for it." Pathetic. His voice went cold. "I always knew you'd turn into this. To hell with your Belgrove. Lose my number." He hung up. The family calls started within hours.
Aunt Diane, Uncle Paul, cousins, family friends, all saying the same thing. I was selfish, greedy, destroying the family over money. Your mother would be so disappointed, Aunt Diane said. She raised you to value family over everything. I tried explaining the math, the costs, the impossibility of what they were asking. Nobody cared. I called Carter 3 weeks later, swallowed my pride. Carter, I'll do it at cost. $45,000. That covers staff, operations, utilities, everything I have to pay. Zero profit. That's a $40,000 discount. Silence. You're still charging me? I'm covering my costs. I literally can't go lower without losing money. Then I guess we know where you rank in my priorities. Carter, please. You're nothing without what Dad left you. We both know you didn't earn any of this. Now stop being selfish and do this one thing for your family. Then find another venue. What? Find another venue. You're really gonna destroy my wedding over money? I'm protecting what I built. Don't bother showing up, Marcus. You're uninvited. From the wedding, from my life, from everything. The line went dead. I called my lawyer that afternoon. Marcus, do you have a signed contract with the Fairchilds? No, we never formalized anything. Then you have zero legal obligation, and your brother has explicitly uninvited you from his life. You don't owe him anything. I sat with that for 3 days. Then I wrote an email. To Catherine Fairchild, Robert Fairchild. Subject, Belgrove Estate, August 7th. Dear Catherine and Robert, I must inform you that Belgrove Estate will no longer be available for Carter and Madison's wedding on August 7th. This follows communications from Carter in which he demanded an $85,000 venue for free, and when I offered it at cost, $45,000, a $40,000 discount, he responded, "You're nothing without what Dad left you. Stop being selfish and do this one thing for your family. Don't bother showing up, Marcus. You're uninvited. From my wedding, from my life, from everything." For context, I inherited only land and $340,000 in debt. I worked 4 jobs for 7 years to save it from foreclosure. I paid for Carter's entire college education. I built Belgrove with my own hands over 10 years while working construction to afford materials. Given that Carter has uninvited me from his wedding and his life, it would be inappropriate for this event to occur at a venue I own and operate. I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Sincerely, Marcus Thorne. I sent it 13 days before the wedding. Catherine called 4 minutes later. I let it go to voicemail. Marcus, please, there has to be some misunderstanding. We didn't know. Please call me back. Robert called the next morning. Marcus, I'm shocked by what Carter said, but please don't let my daughter suffer for his mistakes. Name your price, anything. His attorney called that afternoon. I received the call because it was from an unknown number. He introduced himself, and after my explanations, he said, "Mr. Thorne, I understand your position, and frankly, I think you're making the only decision a person with self-respect could make." That was the last I heard. August 7th arrived clear and perfect. I spent the morning with my orchids, listening to Bach. My phone started buzzing around 2 p.m. My cousin Maya. "Marcus, the gates are locked. There are cars everywhere. People in formal wear standing in the parking lot. The police are here. What's happening?" Then, "The wedding is canceled. Carter is losing it." Then, "The bride is sitting on the ground crying. This is really bad." I put my phone on silent. 300 guests arrived to locked gates and a dark mansion. The event planner, Patricia Rothman, had called me 17 times trying to get in. By 4:15, Madison arrived in her $40,000 dress and found 300 people standing behind a fence. Someone said she walked up to the gates, put her hands on the iron bars, and screamed until she couldn't anymore. Carter tried to blame me, said I'd confirmed the venue and sabotaged him out of jealousy. But Robert had my email. He pulled it out and read it aloud to everyone. Every word Carter had said to me.
You told us this was handled, Robert's voice carried across the parking lot. You told us your brother was giving you the venue. You said everything was arranged. Even after receiving this email, I seriously advised you to go and plead with your elder brother and that my family is ready to carry whatever charges with good faith, as he has shown much benevolence. 50% discount is no small gift. Yet you did this to my daughter. You let her get dressed. You let her think this was happening because you were too proud to tell the truth, too proud to respect your elder brother. Madison took off her engagement ring right there, handed it to her father, got back in the limo and left. The engagement ended that night. Carter tried to salvage it. Madison wouldn't see him. Her father released a statement 2 days later. The Fairchild family has decided to end our relationship with Carter Thorne. Clean, corporate, devastating.
The family blamed me for everything. Aunt Diane said, "Carter lost everything because you couldn't put aside your pride for one day. Your mother would be ashamed." Uncle Paul said, "You humiliated your brother in front of 300 people. Do you understand what you've done?" I blocked them all. Carter emailed me a month later. "Marcus, I lost everything. Madison won't speak to me. Her family threatened legal action if I try to contact her or any member of the family again. I lost my job because the story got out and my boss witnessed the shame. I'm broke. I'm alone. I know I said things I shouldn't have. I was stressed. Please, I'm your brother. I need financial help. Carter."
I read it 3 times. Then I wrote back. Carter, you told me I was nothing without what Dad left me. Dad left me debt and empty land the bank was going to seize. I worked 4 jobs for 7 years to save it. I paid for your entire college education while I had nothing. I built Belgrove with my own hands while you were mocking my DIY disaster with your friends and living debt-free. You didn't say things you shouldn't have because you were stressed. You revealed what you actually think of me. You lost Madison because you lied to her family and tried to exploit your own brother. You lost your job because of your own actions. I hope you find what you're looking for, but you won't find it by taking from people who've already given you everything. Marcus.
He never responded. 6 months later, Madison Fairchild called me. "Marcus, I want to apologize. Carter lied to us about everything. After it fell apart, I learned what you actually did to save that land, the sacrifices of love you made for Carter, which he has never mentioned or appreciated. My parents were shocked when they learnt the whole truth. My dad keeps saying your kindness will never be unrewarded, even when the people are ungrateful." She paused. "I'm engaged again, to someone honest, and I'd like to book Belgrove for my wedding, if you're available. I'm not asking for a discount. I'll pay your full rate. Belgrove deserves to host a wedding built on honesty, not lies and pride." I had 1 cancellation for next June. She was very happy when I told her. Madison married Thomas Chen on June 12th at Belgrove. During the reception, her father found me in the gardens. "Marcus, thank you for showing my daughter what integrity looks like, what it means to stand up for yourself even when everyone tells you you're wrong." He extended his hand. "And for building something truly beautiful from nothing. Your mother would be proud."
As we shook hands, an older gentleman approached. Distinguished, silver hair, expensive suit that probably cost more than my first truck. "Robert, would you mind introducing me?" "Marcus, this is Jonathan Ashford. He's on the board of the Estate Venue Alliance." My stomach dropped. The EVA was the most exclusive network of luxury venues in North America. Getting certified by them meant access to ultra-high net worth clients, corporate partnerships, and international bookings. Jonathan extended his hand. "Mr. Thorne, I've been watching what you've built here. Remarkable, truly remarkable." "Thank you, sir." "I'm here because Robert told me your story. Not just about today, about how you built Belgrove from nothing, how you did the work yourself. He paused, looking around the estate. The EVA has been looking to expand into New England. We need venues that represent not just luxury, but authenticity, legacy, character. He pulled out a business card. I'd like to offer Belgrove membership in the Estate Venue Alliance, full certification. That means access to our client database, Fortune 500 companies, international weddings, celebrity events. We're talking bookings in the $200,000 to $500,000 range, plus our marketing network, vendor partnerships, and global exposure. My hands went numb. There's a $50,000 annual membership fee, he continued, but based on your current operations and our projections, you'd see ROI within the first 2 bookings. We estimate Belgrove could generate $3 to $4 million annually within 18 months of certification. I couldn't speak. Think about it, Jonathan said. But Marcus, places like this, built with integrity, sacrifice, vision, they're rare. That's what we want in our network. Not just another pretty venue, but a place with a story worth telling. He glanced at the reception, at Madison and Thomas dancing under lights I'd strung myself. Your brother tried to take this from you for free. Now you're about to turn it into an empire. That's poetic justice if I've ever seen it. Robert said, smiling. Your mother would be proud.
Carter lives 2 hours away now. Some middle management job. We don't speak. The family stopped calling after about a year. I'm fine with that, because family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up, who supports you, who doesn't demand you sacrifice yourself for their comfort. I have Belgrove, a business I built from nothing. I have employees who respect what we've created. I have couples who trust me with the most important day of their lives. I have a chapel where light streams through windows I installed myself. That's enough. Last month I got a letter. No return address. Inside was a single piece of paper. Marcus, you were right about everything. I am truly sorry. Carter. I read it once. Then I burned it in the fireplace. The fireplace I'd built, stone by stone. I watched the paper curl and blacken and disappear. Then I went outside to check on the gardens. Because that's what you do when you've built something real. You protect it. You maintain it. You refuse to let anyone, family or otherwise, tear it down, even when they beg you to. Especially then. If this story resonated with you, if you or anyone you know have ever had to choose between family pressure and protecting what you built, hit that subscribe button. Because standing up for yourself shouldn't feel lonely. Join our community at Nestor Tales, where we share real stories about boundaries, betrayal, and the courage it takes to choose yourself. And drop a comment below. Have you ever had to cut off family to protect your peace? Do you think Marcus went too far by turning his back on his brother? Let's know your thoughts in the comments section.